We are live, 2022, back 9 bets, sink or swim. Welcome to the show, friends, family, and fans. It's been a long awaited day. It has been chaos. Canada can take their maple syrup and pancakes and shove it because their holiday today cost me many hours of not being able to get on the show. Anyway, let's get to Tournament of Champions. We have 38 golfers to go over today. Maybe we'll skip over a few. We'll see how things go. It's going to be a fun time. I'm so excited to be here with y'all. And it's going to be a bit of a different one because we don't have the slideshow. We're going through the model today. Have fun going through the model with me. You can see what's going on here a little bit. So we're playing the Tournament of Champions in Hawaii at Kapalua. Okay, and before I forget, this is in honor of Eric van Rooyen. I don't know if you've seen his mustache lately, but it is filthy. And I threw some handlebars on my face for this episode. So we'll see how that rolls out. We'll have to get our hands on some EVR outrights, or not outrights. We'll get some bets on EVR one way or another, maybe a top 10. I have him ranked a lot higher than some people think. So that's all good for me. All right, let's get into it. We are playing at Kapalua, and we need bombers. Accuracy means diddly squat. We need bombers. We need guys who can pure the irons. We need guys who can make putts. We need guys who can avoid 3 putts as well. So there's a lot going on. The weather conditions seem like they are going to be very tame, so we're going to roll with guys that make a lot of birdies. Bogey avoidance is also a key stat that we will not be bringing into account at all. And yeah, we don't really have any recent form to go off of because a lot of these big boys haven't been in the mix. I don't know. It's clueless. I don't know who's going to win this thing. Nobody's had a good run of form. I was listening to Rick Run Good's show the other day, and there's 3 guys that have won their last 2 tournaments they've played. What are we doing here? It's a bit of a crazy situation we're going into this year with zero track record of substance because it's been a long time since these guys have touched clubs. So it's going to be a bit of a crapshoot. That being said, I think my approach, the long run model process is useful because it takes people back to their baseline. You want to see them play the way they've played pretty much their whole career, or like last year, for instance. Who are those people going to be? We're not really too worried about recent form that much, unless we're betting outrights, and I have a few guys that I think will be good picks. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into it. Karla Marikawa is my number 1 ranked golfer because of his approach game off the charts, and his distance is not very good. He's not the longest boy off the tee, but it looks like a lot of the TaylorMade fellas are going to be busting out that stealth black new driver. I want to get my hands on one of those this year, so hopefully one of my outrights wins, so we can get halfway there. Karla Marikawa he's the best iron player in the field by a landslide, slightly ahead of Justin Thomas. His distance isn't that important to me. I don't worry about that. I've seen him hit 5 woods to 7 feet more often than I've hit putts to 7 feet. So I'm going to love going to Karla Marikawa in some matchups if we find anything good there. I'm not going to bet him top 10. His odds are ludicrous. A lot of these odds, we don't have a lot of bets today. We're talking some DFS, we're talking some matchups, and 1 or 2 outrights we have. So Karla Marikawa at $10,800 and 27% owned is a bit crazy. I do think he stands one of the best chances to win this damn tournament because he's been playing exceptionally well lately. There's also a way that he can become world number 1. If he pretty much just beats Jon Rahm and Jon Rahm finishes second, Colin's got it. If John has a really bad day or bad weekend and Colin finishes inside the top 5, I think he's also got it there. But he doesn't have to beat him by a lot. He just has to really beat him and score inside the top 5. So that's what's going on with Colin. His putter over the long run has been pretty average, but it's been better over the last little while. So hopefully he can keep that run going forward. I do think he's going to putt better. But I don't know if I'm going to be touching much of Colin. I know he's going to do well. I know he's going to, I don't know. In the 10K range, I'm liking Bryson DeChambeau. And I have a lot to say about DeChambeau versus Colin. Colin's just too consistent. He's very consistent. He just does his thing. But when it comes to a guy that we're looking to bet in DFS, I'm a big fan of Bryson DeChambeau. He's a lot cheaper than all the other boys ahead of him. And he's at 23% owned versus we got Cam Smith and Justin Thomas, Mark Sangjae Im at like 29%. These boys are all up in the 30s. So with a nice little Bryson DeChambeau situation, I think it'll be fun to see how he goes along. He has exceptional power. He's the longest ball hitter on tour. I believe he is going to be looking at so many more eagle putts than the rest of the field this week. I do think that's going to be the case. Even Jon Rahm and the other boys that are on his heels. Brooksy, when he played with Bryson, was like, wow. He actually hits it really, really. Like for Brooks to say Bryson's driving is impressive. So I think with the 4 par 5s on this course, all sitting at like 550 plus, there's a 600-yard hole, depending on which way the breeze is going to be blowing. We won't even call it wind. We'll call it a breeze this year. I think Bryson's going to have so many eagle looks. He's one of the best. In 2021, Bryson DeChambeau was the best approach player from over 200 yards. And I know a lot of people don't like the fact that he's not that handy around the greens from like 75, 50 yards out. And 6% and 6% of the shots from 50 to 75 and 75 to 100 are going, I think that counts up 12% of the shots that take place at Kapalua. But for a guy that hits it that far, he's going to be bypassing all of those ranges. He's going to be going at the green a lot of the time when a lot of the other shorter hitters are going to be the people padding those stats. He's also not going to be hitting from 250 yards plus a lot because he nukes it. You can hit it as far as you want on this golf course. Just by carry, I don't care if the ground's hard or not and you don't get as much roll. He still hits it further than everyone. So I really like Bryson. I think he's going to be fantastic. Who knows? Who knows what's going to show up? I have a big concern about the green reading books affecting Bryson the most. He's a very scientific, very methodical individual when it comes to the game of golf. I don't know how he is going to... I don't know how he's going to benefit or be disadvantaged or anything like that. I feel like he can't be advantaged by it disappearing. He's not going to be one of the guys who putt better. Maybe he stays the same or what. But like Cameron Smith, Patrick Reed, those kind of putters, I think are just naturally good putters, whereas like Bryson may be a bit more of an issue. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe he's got some special code that he can put into his green reading book and make it work so that he knows which way it's going to break. The putting thing is a problem for me. I really want to bet Bryson. I do think that I don't know how well he usually plays in the first round, but I know that he can make a massive comeback. So if he doesn't play as well as he can on round one and he drops into like the mid-20s, I'm pulling the trigger on the outright after round one for Bryson. I think he can make a massive comeback. If it doesn't look like an absolute disaster, we're going Bryson. 23% on DFS, DraftKings. I like him. That's a lot less ownership than a lot of the other top dogs who can actually win this thing. He's a sneaky play. Next up is Jon Rahm. Don't have a lot to say about Jon Rahm other than the fact that he is the world number one golfer in the world. World number one golfer in the world. Yeah, we got that one going. So Johnny Rahm, as you can see, doesn't do a lot exceptionally well. He just is an exceptional golfer. And his best stat is his strokes gained total. In this field, he's the number one ranked strokes gained total. But his next best stat is strokes gained approach, which is fifth. So he He's the sum of the parts for Jon Rahm are better than in the whatever that saying is. Geez, it's been a day. But Jon Rahm is just the complete golfer. We want him, I don't know, at 11K, 26% owned. You can save $800 and get Bryson. I don't know. I think Bryson's going to make a lot more birdies than all of these guys. Going to have eagle looks at a golf course where a lot of guys, I don't know, will be able to get to these greens and stuff. Bryson's going to have eagle looks. I think that's the biggest advantage there is in this field for him in DFS especially. And his ownership is low. So I'm a big fan of Bryson. Jon Rahm, we're skipping by. Justin Thomas at 36% is ludicrous. Understandable, but ludicrous. Second best approach player in the field. I don't know. I don't know. Like, his track record at this golf course is fantastic. He's got bones back on the bag. I don't know how his putting is going to fare with the green reading books being minimized. So we'll see what Justin Thomas can get up to. I mean, he's playing really well. He's got the LASIK now, so that's under control. Maybe he's not busting out the sunglasses anymore. I don't know. It's interesting. Justin Thomas, gonna give him a skip in DFS. There's no way we can really bet him in anything. I saw there was a Karla Marikawa versus Justin Thomas matchup, which I don't know if we're going to go with that or not. It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird event. It's like these guys are all playing on a driving range kind of deal. It's just an interesting situation. Tough to handicap. Sam Burns comes in at the 5th golfer in my rankings. And man, oh man, do I like Sam Burns. And I think the public, I mean, at $9,100, Sam Burns, he's a birdie-making machine. His last 24 rounds, he's got recent form that's incredible right now. And he's just proved he's a top 10 player in the world as of this year. I love Sam Burns. Is one of my favorite golfers. He's at 20-1 on Caesar Sportsbook, and I think I'm going to bet that. I just think Sam Burns is exceptional. I think he's got what it takes. I want him to have a signature win soon, and I want to be on it when he happens because this is the field. This is like a mini major. I don't know. You can look at it in two ways. It can be a vacations tournament of champions, kind of doing whatever you want. Or you can be like, you know what? My name's Sam Burns. I want to take down Karla Marikawa, Bryson DeChambeau, Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas, Xander Schaffly, Victor Hovland, Patrick Cantley. I want to beat these guys in the very first tournament of the year. I want to show them why I'm the champion of champions. I want to climb up that leaderboard of the world rankings, and I want to finish as the number 1 ranked golfer at the end of the year. He can do it. His game travels. It's complete. His only issue is around the green, and Lord knows that doesn't even include the 5-chip he had at the Euro. It's a problem. He has times where the short game can let him down big time, but at a birdie fest like this with big greens, he's an exceptional putter. So you know what that means. Not a lot of around the green game. His irons and his putting work so well in tandem. So I'm not too concerned about his very mediocre around the green game. Similar situation with Bryson. I think a lot of these guys are going to be on the putting surface a lot more than chipping. I think the green in regulation stats are a little high at this golf course as well. So we'll see, especially for the really good ball strikers, which Sam Burns is indeed. Cool. My voice is getting tired. We're chatting a lot today. Check out my mug. It was my birthday month just a while ago. I got a big old Back Nine Bets mug. I have a Model Maniac hat. I was gifted all of these beautiful gifts from friends and family. You're going big places when your merch gets sent to you. Yes. So we'll get there. We'll get there eventually, but Back Nine Bets is making an appearance. We have a logo, wherever this, I can see it on the screen. Beautiful logo. Shout out to my man, Jeff. Dude, beautiful stuff. Anyway, let's continue on down the board. Sam Burns, DFS, not so much. Outright, I think we're going that way. Haven't pulled the trigger yet, though. I've only got 2 outrights, and we're getting to them slowly. Next up, Xander Schaffly, and he is exactly the same as Justin. He's got the same kind of situation, just a better, definitely a much better putter. I think he's going to putt well. I don't feel like he's a very green book dependent individual. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on with this green reading. There's going to be people that are going to be sucking. Someone's going to be let down big time. I've never looked at a green reading book in my life. I don't know what it looks like. I just putt. I just read the greens and we go. We'll see. We'll see who's the natural putters and we need some help. Who needs the Zimmer frames on the green? Xander at 9,500 and 30% pretty much is a roughie. At some point, you got to go with these guys, but I think I like Bryson up there. I like Bryson up there a lot still. I mean, as you go down this board, I think Bryson's just going to be my guy. He's a birdie-making machine. We'll fade all these other guys. They owned to the moon, and it's a small field, so we'll make ourselves some leverage there on the Deshambo show. Yes, but I mean, what is there much more to say other than Xander? He's like also incredibly consistent across the board. Everything is so good for him. You know, the around the green game, a little iffy, but still very good. I mean, this is a really good field. So, I mean, every other stat, I mean, his par 5 scoring is second to Mr. Cameron Smith. So, you know, 4 par 5s. He's a long hitter. He's got some distance on his side. He's a wonderful. Maybe I'll put a few of Xander's in there. Maybe. I should have nailed him at a 16 to 1 on the outright market, but now it's shifted. I thought it was going to go up to maybe a 20. I wanted these betting odds are just ridiculous right now. It's tough to pull the trigger on anything. So unless it's further down the board, and then you never know. Cool. Xander Schaffly, 6th ranked golfer, above Victor Hovland, $500 cheaper. Victor Hovland's at an even 10K and 25% owned. Who knows if his golf clubs are actually going to make it to Hawaii in time for the tournament. I saw today, still without his golf clubs. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Victor. I mean, just an incredible ball striker, he can get hot with a putter. He can hole out from bunkers. What an incredible performance. He's one of the guys with the 2 wins back-to-back coming into this thing. Unbelievable stuff. I mean, he's been playing so well. He's going to be a superstar. Golf world is just the golf world is just so blessed right now. We're going to have so much going on. We're going to have so many good players blessing us. Blessed. We are so blessed. Blessed. So lucky to have all these incredible players on our screens every week for the next 9 months. Isn't that going to be fun? On ESPN, we're going to see a lot more golf. We're going to see more players, more shots. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait. It's going to be a blast. All right, Victor Hovland, 10K, 25% owned. Again, I'm just kind of scooting out of this 25% ownership range until we get a little further down the board. I don't want anything to do with these guys that much in the DFS market at all, especially Cameron Smith. He's one of my favorite golfers in the world right now, and that's an Australian, and that's a lot coming from a South African. So I don't know. I mean, his par 5 scoring, his birdie or better percentages, and that is all before his strokes gained approach, which is 20th in the field. But in his last 24 rounds, I think he's inside the top 10 in this field for approach. And that includes a bunch of premium ball strikers. So Cam Smith's approach game has just lit up in the last little while. These stats include all of 2021 and 2022 stats so far. So they have not caught up yet. And Cameron Smith's game is peaking. His off the tee situation is going to be nullified at this golf course. His distance isn't up there with the big dogs, but it's not the worst in the field. His short game is where he makes all of that up, and his putting is fantastic. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have a 3-putt this week. Let's hope he doesn't. Who knows? If he doesn't, I think he can win this damn thing. He's a short game specialist with an approach game that's catching up there very quickly. At $8,300 and 30%, I don't know if we're going there. We shall see. Patrick Cantley's next up, and he's our 9th ranked golfer in the world, coming off back-to-back wins in a 30-man field, this is just about there. And he also had a major head start above everyone else. So anyway, whatever. Patrick Cantley, what does he do well? Well, he does not make a lot of bogeys. Just like Jon Rahm, doesn't make a lot of bogeys. He just rolls on through the golf course, just birdie look after birdie look. Whenever he misses the green, it's almost a guaranteed up and down. The guy's solid. Patty Ice, I love him. I love watching him. Maybe he needs to figure out a good brand of chapstick. That would be ideal. I don't like watching him look like Voldemort licking his lips all the time, but you know what? It is what it is. Sometimes you just got to deal with that kind of stuff going forward. It's okay. Patrick Cantley, also 25% owned. I don't know. I want Bryson. I want the birdie machine. All these guys can, I don't care about them. I want Bryson up top there. We'll make our money here in the bottom ranges. And this is the first one that has a major discrepancy in my rankings. And it's exciting because Jason Kokrak is an absolute monster off the tee. And he's one of the best. He's the best putter in the freaking field. What more do you want? He's an average iron player in this field. He's a good iron player. If you get him into wedge range, the guy's an assassin. So I don't know what these people are thinking. Around the green, yes, and that's mainly to do with bunkers. I think he's scared of the Sandman. I think the Boogeyman and the Sandman did a bit of a dirty on him back in the day. But if he can avoid the sand, he's going to be doing good, at least from a short game perspective. I mean, hitting out of sand with an iron is whatever. I think everyone's on tour can do that. It's the around the green game that's a concern, but I think with these big greens, a good iron player and just nuking it off the tee. He hits it far. He's the 5th longest golfer in this field. So watching Jason Kokrak, and he's at 14% owned, and at $7,700. So, I mean, that between him and Bryson, we're sitting at an $8,500 average, which is the average for the 6 golfers you throw in there. So, I mean, we can go to boys like Brooksy next and things like that later on. But Jason Kokrak, I don't know, par 5 scoring, 5th in the field. What? Like, why? Why aren't people on him? I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're on him. And I love Jason Kokrak. He's the best putter. This is like one of the courses that putting is the most important metric. Like the way putting is weighted at this golf course is significantly more than at other golf courses. And putting is a volatile stat, but Kokrak just putts lights out all the time. He's improved his putting tremendously after lengthening his putter. And he's got distance, par 5 scoring, and he putts. He putts well. Jason Kokrak, $7,700 and 14% owned. I don't know what to tell you. Full send. He might be on every lineup I make. My next man, the 11th ranked golfer on my model, long run, is Brooks Krupka. Brooksy is my first outright of this video. Took 23 minutes to get there. But yes, Brooks Krupka, I think he's going to excel at this golf course. Let me have a sip of water here before we get into Brooks. And you know what? Let's take a quick look at the stash. Look at this thing. We're going to make EVR so proud. We are going to make him proud. Anyway, let's get back to business. Brooks Krupka. What's going on here? He's 11% owned at $8,500. Why? Yes, I've been on the train where I don't want to touch Brooks at anything other than a major. That is a valid concern. It's a majorly valid concern. Brooks has just had an equipment change. His driver has been his biggest weapon over the years, but has been his biggest weakness of late. He was in contention at the Hero, and then I think he jacked it off the tee a little skew, and the next thing we know, we're hitting out of bushes for a 4. Like your third shot is you've dropped, and you're approaching the green now for your third shot. So this golf course, he is the 3rd longest golfer in the field. So that's going to be a major advantage to Brooksy. His approach game is fantastic. We know this. We know all of this. It's just, is he going to show up? I think he is. I think he's going to be motivated. There's been a lot of talk about He doesn't perform. We've got all the big dogs here. This is a major. Does he show up? Does he? Does he not? That is the biggest question. In a GPP with those kind of ownership percentages up at the top of this board, 11% at $8,500. I mean, we go Bryson, Kokrak, and Brooks, and we're sitting tight. We can go Geordie, there. We can do whatever we want. We can do anything else from there. So it's wonderful, and I have a 6K guy that I'm going to speak to you guys about here shortly, if we ever get there. Anyway, Brooks Krupka is my first outright of the bets that I made. I made 2. He's going to do fantastic for us. He's off the tee length. He's going to be fantastic. Iron play. He's around the green game. Great. Bogey avoidance. Terrible. Who cares? Doesn't matter. We want guys that can dominate par 5s. We want guys that are long off the tee. And he makes a lot of birdies. He's 12th in the field birdie-wise. So we'll take that. I don't know. Let's see. He's had some time to get his stuff together. Let's see what Brooksy can do for us. Daniel Berger, great iron player. He seems like he's just one of those guys that he just can't put his foot on the pedal. Especially at a course like this where it's going to be a birdie fest, I believe. Maybe he just dials his irons in and goes from there, but I don't know. His distance off the tee is a bit of a concern, especially in a birdie fest. There's a big difference between getting an extra 25 yards off of your approach game. There's major statistical benefits to just your general proximity to the hole if you're closer to the hole. That's just how it works. So his distance is going to be an issue, but his iron play makes up for the lack of distance. He's fantastic with his irons. Unbelievable. Bogey avoiding machine behind Russell Henley, who's not in the field. I love Russell making no bogeys. But yeah, par 5 scoring for DB. He's also, I don't think his golf club showed up. Who knows? But nothing about him apart from his approach game really, really pops. So I don't know. Maybe we throw a bit of DB on the card here, 22%, $8,400. That's a nice price tag. We'll see. We'll see what we do with DB. Jordan Spieth, though, he's next up, $8,900 and 21% owned. Around the green specialist, I love Geordie around the greens. Strokes gain total in general, he's won at this golf tournament before. The last time we saw him, he was pretty much getting himself DQ'd / put in the circus with Henrik Stenson teeing up from the wrong tees, which was a mess. His recent form, obviously, as you can tell, has been disgusting. But at a golf course like, and I think going back to the British Open, the Open, his run of form wasn't fantastic going in there. It wasn't great. He said he was struggling with his irons. He was thinking too much. He was trying to put too much mechanics into it all. And then he found some form at the Open and just about won the damn thing if it weren't for Mr. Marikawa. And his reasoning for his exceptional play there was that he was feeling his shots versus hitting the shots and focusing on mechanics. He was seeing how the ball needed to be shaped. He was seeing how seeing, like he wasn't doing. He was in the flow state. And this golf course has a lot of elevation changes, a lot of slopes on the fairway, big greens that require some, manipulation of the golf ball, some good approaches from fading drawing, whatever. I think Jordan can get around his mechanical situation again here, kind of feeling that vibe. So we'll see what he can do. I don't know. I did a little test. I left the door open here because I have 2 dogs. I wanted to see if a dog came running in during the podcast because I was going to use that as an example as look what can happen when you have a kid for Jordan Spieth. But she seems like she's still sleeping on the couch. So it's a 50-50 shot. Is your kid going to cause you issues, or is your kid going to kind of, do what kids do? Or is it going to be a silent, like, is it going to be chilled? Is mommy there? Is the kid even there? I don't know. He's playing with JT. Some good vibes there. I don't know. It's going to be a fun tournament, folks. It's going to be a fun watch. Tony Finau, $8,000, 12% owned. I'm in. The boy's got some length. What happens with the putter? Let's see. I don't know. What can Big Tone get up to? His putting is not very good, eh? It's not very good. But all it takes is a good tournament of putting. And then, he's got all the other things, all the other weapons. He's around the green game's great. Approach game's mediocre, like decent. It's all good. Everything about his game is good compared to the rest of these guys. These guys are exceptional. All of these guys are exceptional. But compared to everybody else, he's just, everything about him, apart from he's around the green game, is outside the top 10 in this field. So nothing about him is elite. Yeah, I guess that's why he's at 8K and 12%. So moving on from Big Tone, we'll sprinkle him in there a little bit. 12% ownership is, I like that. That's in such a small field. I think it's a nice leverage position at 8K. And we know he can win. It just depends on his putter. I don't know if he's got that billionaire basketball owner on his back again. I saw a video of one of his caddies ripping a fart on the fairway, but Tony stuffed it. Doesn't matter. So we'll see what happens. Harris English, the defending champion, par 5 takedownerer, and he can putt lights out when he wants to. Those are two wonderful things, and two things that this golf course calls for from your winners. And just people that play well here in general. He's a good around the green game, and outside the top 20 in approach and distance. But he won here last year, so who knows? When Harry gets hot, he gets into that psycho serial killer mode. I don't know. I'd hate to see what that guy's basement looks like. But anyway, that is not part of the discussion here. He makes birdies. He's 13th in the field making birdies. And at $7,800, 17% owned, Harry English, probably sprinkle him in a little bit. He's capable of winning, and he can play well. So we'll see what cooks there. Abraham Answer, and yes, he's a great golfer, but I don't like these two numbers. His bogey avoidance and distance off the tee. His bogey avoidance is 5th best in the field, but he's like he's the pop gun out of them all here. He's easily the shortest player in the top 20 till you get to Seamus. So I don't know. About Abraham Answer. $8,100, 17%, skipping right over him. Let's save some time. The same goes with Sungjae Im. Look at these two guys. They're two bogey avoiding individuals. They just boop, 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 just super consistent down the road they go. Sungjae's had an incredible recent form. Last 24 has been fantastic for the guy. He won, but he's won twice in the last 100 starts or something ridiculous like that. So, if track record were anything to go off of, it's going to be a while, or it could be this weekend. Who knows? But I don't know. I don't know about Sungjae. And at 29% owned, happy to fade him there. Happy to fade him at 29%. There's other alternatives, like Hideki. The Masters champion. We've seen him win tournaments. He won Zozo. He won the Masters. The guy's a ball striking machine. And you know what? I've been taking a peek at his long irons, and they are fantastic. He's one of the best from further away. Par 5s. See? If he could putt better, I think his par 5 scoring and his birdie or betters would be better. Slower greens. I don't know. Does that help him? Bad putters can putt well for 4 days, or all they need is 3 days, and just an average day. 2.5 days. I don't care. So Hideki at 14%, 8,700. I like it. They overpriced him a little bit, kind of to what other people are feeling. So Hideki's looking prime for a position in the back nine bets DFS lineups for sure. Absolutely go there with the Hideki man. I don't know. He's had some time off. Whether or not the putting's going to show, who knows? It's a risk you're willing to take. And in a field like this, you got to take some risks. Taylor Gooch just won himself a tournament recently to get in here, and he's been playing fantastic golf. He's similar to Sam Burns. I'd say he's kind of riding the same trajectory as Sam, but just a few months behind in a way. Everyone knew he was going to win a tournament, and then he did so well as well. From the front, he kicked ass. It's so difficult to win from the front. Karla Marikawa and Jon Rahm on the PGA Tour have 10 combined wins, and only 2 of them from both of them, 1 each, came from in front on Sunday. 8 of their 10 wins came from behind. Just a little fun fact for you there, because winning from the front is incredibly difficult. Taylor Gooch did that. So 19% at $7,600. I wish they priced him a little higher. That would be nice to drive down his ownership a little bit, but he's a guy, he can win. He's been playing fantastic. That's the benefit of what's happened here with the layoff. We haven't seen these guys for a while, so people forget how well these people were playing. And he was playing consistency. I mean, coming into this event, he's the 5th best golfer. So anyway, Sam Burns, and then Seamus Powell at $6,600. He's my 20th ranked golfer. $6,600 is going to save you a ton of cash. You can go big up top. But like we've said, I don't know. I don't know if I'm touching any of those 10K guys other than Bryson. Maybe I really like Cam Smith. I wish they made him more. I really do. I don't know what to make about that. But anyway, we'll keep going. Okay, let's scoot down to where things get a little more red down here. Seamus Powell is one of my favorite golfers, and he does so good. But he's got that same game like Answer, right? Like his distance is not there. He doesn't make a lot of bogeys. He's a really good bogey avoiding guy. I don't know if that's what we need. Yeah, we need a 30. Like people are saying 30 under par, 25 under par. You got to make an average of 7 birdies, call it, around. 7 birdies around. And he's not going to be that guy for us. 23rd in the field, birdie or better. Par 5 scoring is in the middle of the field as well. But I mean, as we're getting down here, there's guys that don't have a lot of impressive stats compared to the rest of these dudes. Like if it was a bigger field, they'd have, oranges would be green. So anyway, but $6,600 at 17% gives you some flexibility down the board. Patrick Reed, we know his game around the green putting. He has been at the Euro. It seemed like he played really well. And there's a chart that I have that 5 out of the 6 wins that he's had, or 7 out of the 8 wins, I think, that he's had on tour, he's finished inside the top 20 3 times in the last 6 starts. He's finished inside the top 10 once, and inside the top 20 once before. The top 20 in the last 2 starts before that event. So if he finishes inside the top 5 at this tournament, we're going to him at the Sony, for sure. His game has been very erratic. He plays really well, or he just doesn't. So we'll see what happens there. His distance, obviously a concern. The rest of his game, he can make up for it there, but I don't know. Who knows what kind of person is going to show up in the form of Patrick Reed. Another guy here down the board, Max Homa, is just fantastic. I can't wait to put money on Max in the DFS world. 13% and $6,700. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I like a lot of things about Max down on the board here. Like his par 5 scoring at a course like this is going to come into play in a big way. His putting is pretty bad, but when it shows up, he does well. We know this. We've all seen Max putt lights out when he wins these things, and he contends. So whether or not he can It's a risk you got to take. DFS, that's what it is. I don't know. His putting can be very bad, but it can also be very good. Who knows? Let's hope. Let's hope for Homer. And now, we have Stuart Cink, the title of the episode. We're going to sink and swim because Stuart Cink is our guy. Stuart Cink is our guy. Recent form is not good at all. It is disgustingly bad. However, his baseline is fantastic. The guy won 2 tournaments last year. Okay, he should have been in this event twice. But he's been playing badly lately. And at 3% owned, min price 6K, he's going to be in a lot of our lineups. He hits it off the tee. He's, for an old guy with a shiny head, you think of like Jim Furyk. No, Stuart Cink is like the man. He's the boy. He hits it a million miles off the tee for an old dog. I looked up and saw that his son is still on the bag with him. So he's got his son on the bag still. They've had some family time now over Christmas. I like the kind of atmosphere at this golf course and this event for Stuart Cink to show up. Not very important golf tournament for some. I don't know. You decide. Are we going to try and win the damn thing with the best golfers in the world all at this tournament? Or, hey, we champions, who cares? Let's just go play 4 rounds of golf around a beautiful looking golf course. I think Stuart's going to, with his son on the bag, he's always going to be trying to play well. And I think maybe he got a little burnt out towards the end of the season last year. Has had some time to relax, rejuvenate, get yourself some fresh wind. He's an old guy. Takes a lot of energy to jack it off the tee like he does for an old man like that. And we are now in a range where we're looking at 3 guys in a row that I'm going to be playing. And they $6,100 and $6,200. And they're all under 7%. Erik van Rooyen, the stash man, I am all in on him. His long iron play is fantastic. He hits it really far as well. So he's got a good approach game, for so far down the board. He's inside the top 20. But the rest of his game is a bit iffy. But again, this is a long-term stats. He had some really good showing in the playoffs where he just made an incredible run. So maybe when he gets into this situation again with the big guys, he'll want to step up. So we'll see. I don't know. He's a risky play, obviously. That's what you get while you're getting $6,100 player. But over the long term, he's slotting in at 24th here, and they've got him at $6,100. We got people like Mark Leishman underneath him, whose stats are also a little skewed because he's been playing incredible golf lately. We'll get to that. So Cam Davis is the next guy. He also hits it a million miles, makes a ton of birdies, and for his caliber of player, hits it really far. I think he's going to have some eagle opportunities. In DFS, eagles are worth like 8 points versus, the 1.5 that you get for a birdie. That can change the game, especially in a no-cut event. Eagles are like they're automatically there. Doesn't matter about your finishing position. Doesn't matter anything. It banks you like 8 points. Bang, done. So $6,200, 7%, Cam Davis in the lineups for shizzles. Mark Leishman, the man from down under, the big, smooth, Ernie Els comparable kind of individual from the Australian continent, is our second outright that we have. He's incredibly on form right now. His irons are now inside the top 10 in the world for the last few rounds that he's played. Australians had it bad. They weren't allowed back into their country. South Africans were. They weren't just allowed out. Anyway, I'm just joking, whatever. But times were tough for the Australians, and his game reflected that. I think he's getting back to how he can play. He's kind of peaking. He's really, really getting to a place where he's been in contention a few times. He finished 2 top 5s in the last 4 events, and a 19th and a 38th. So Mark Leishman's playing really nicely. Just about won it. If he had Jason Day with him as a teammate, maybe they would have won that damn thing. Who knows? especially Mark Leishman's game off the tee, big issue. But just send it, bud. Just go big. You don't have to worry about keeping in the fairway. Just send it. Send it. Let the irons and the putting go. You can putt lights out. $3,300. His recent form is just too good to put away. And at $3,300, I think that was a good go. Could get it at 35. But yes, his recent form is incredible. And as you can tell, his ownership percentage is at 22%. So a lot of people are aware of that. That's why I went with him at an outright. We're going to leave him off the DFS slate. Kevin Na, might sprinkle him in a little bit. His irons have been getting better as well. He's not the 37th worst iron player in this field. He's actually better than that. Currently, who knows what irons show up. He's been playing really well iron-wise lately. We'll see if that can pull through. So, yes, I don't really care too much about the rest of the people down here other than maybe, some Phil Mickelson. Cam Champ is now no longer in with the Coco. So we'll give that a skip. But Phil Mickelson, he can hit, I don't know. The reason he's in this event is because he won the PGA. Is he going to show up and feel like incredible Phil and say, you know what? You young guns, watch this. Going to hit some bombs around Kapalua. His driving distance, look at this. It's 22nd in the field, so he gets it out there. The rest of the game is very questionable, but we know what Phil Mickelson can do. We've seen him play well. It's a resort kind of course. It's easier. Maybe he can just get some confidence going. He's in his game, he's got utmost confidence in himself. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Phil's got it. We'll see. Definitely going to sprinkle him in here and there. I think you got to be different. We got to change it the way we think. And the same can go for probably Brandon Grace. He hits those little bullets, low bullets around the field. I don't know what he can get up to. There's a few guys down here, The same goes for Lucas Glover. He's a really good approach game guy, but I'm just like slurring my words because I'm just talking about guys that are just garbage. So yeah, we'll leave these boys alone. But just to get back to some green, some blue, some good play. Bryson at the top of the board is looking wonderful for me. And then I think we're going to start pulling the trigger right here at Kokrak. Leave all these other guys except for Bryson I'm going with, and not even because of his ownership, but just the price. And I think he's the second best golfer in my model. I like him a lot there. I'm probably going to sprinkle a little bit of Karla Marikawa in here as well, because I just think he's been playing too good to not put him on maybe 5 out of the 20 lineups we'll put Colin in there. But Bryson's going to be in every single one. So yes, back 9 bets, guys. Sink or swim. Thank you so much. This is episode 10. I had a struggle with the microphone before we got you. I had a crazy day of work. It was just a mess. I don't know. It's just been one of those days. But thank you. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. We are going to have a great season. It's going to be so much fun handicapping all these tournaments and seeing how the golf goes. Let's crack a winner here. Mark Leishman, Brooks Krupka. I'm either going to go Cam Smith and Sam Burns, or we're going to wait for someone like a Bryson or a Colin or a JT to fall into the 20s after day one. And then just hopefully they can just make an insane comeback from like middle of the leaderboard. No pressure. Let's just go birdie hunting and go from there. We've got so many good players in this field. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be a fun time watching. It's going to be on ESPN Plus for 7 hours a day, 4 days a week, 28 hours a week of golf. It's going to be fantastic, people. All right. That's it from your friendly neighborhood model maniac. Please, I can't believe it took me 50 minutes to say this, but follow me on freaking YouTube, y'all. Got 3 followers on there right now, 3 subscribers. Let's get that up there a little bit, so that we can start commenting on these feeds when I'm on. get a little lonely here, you know. So let's get that taken care of, please. And yeah, we'll see you guys maybe on Sunday. I might do a little like live stream kind of. Let's see how things are going. We will see. Anyway, till later. Peace out, y'all.